Pappy out, let's talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about? Oh, Pappy out, say your piece. Laugh at yourself, slap your knee.
Recorded at Flipside Theater in Superior, Colorado, this is Pappy Out with your hosts, Lucas Buddy and Eric Thompson.
Yeah, this episode we had Chris Frank on. This was, you know what? We go into some heavy stuff in this episode, but I love it. I love having these conversations. I think they're super important.
And just the openness of Chris to share that, and really appreciate him and Angie sharing their stories of some of the difficulties in having kids. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always go as planned, and I think that, you know, we got to be able to talk about it. That's why we're here, is to share stories. Stories are so powerful, and they can help us get through some really tough times. So I'm really grateful that Chris Frank came on today, and you're about to hear. Yeah, and just his resilience of he and his wife, I just think is really a powerful testament to marriage and commitment. It's great. So yeah, but without further ado, we're gonna do it. This is Chris Frank, everybody. All right, cheers. That's way better, my friend. We're over the airwaves. We're live, man. Yeah, we're untethered. We can talk to dads anywhere.
Nice. Well, I'll say I'm coming in hot on a fatherhood experience. So I'll preface this by saying that my daughter June is typically a fantastic sleeper. Has been ever since she was like 3 weeks old. But last night she woke up at, I don't know, like 1 a.m. and just would not go back to sleep.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Do we need to reschedule? Are you?
No. I was thinking about this actually, and I was like, this is perfect.
This is perfect. We got a nappy Pappy on.
I'm exhausted, and yeah, exactly. And I'm coming in. And you guys are going to get like the unfiltered, but like real raw.
I love this.
Real,
This is the way you get like 3 drinks in, but like without drink, you just don't get any sleep. Yeah.
It's
the shakes are happening.
And I've been wanting to do this for a while too, and I was like, oh my gosh, if we don't do it now,
my gosh,
so we gotta get it done.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
We got a bleary-eyed
Chris,
dad.
You and I know
the good news is she's napping now.
Yes.
Of course. So she can do it all over again tonight.
Now is the perfect time. All is going according to plan.
Let's not waste any time here. So Chris, you and I know each other from the birthing class, right?
Yep, that's right.
That's right. So we go a little bit back before. Yeah.
I mean,
18
I will
months
say,
then?
I mean, we go back to pre-fatherhood times.
Pre-fatherhood.
Wow.
So take us back there. Who were you when I met you? I was like, this guy, if you haven't met Chris before, he's quite handsome guy. And I told Lauren,
he's handsome we couldn't actually have him in the studio because we had
to do it over the phone.
To concentrate either.
This occurs to me. This is something you could say with all of your guests on a podcast. Right? It's like,
we don't want to single him out. My point was,
we'll have a calendar coming out for Christmas.
I was curious about who Chris was, but when I met him, because I told Lauren, I was like, either he's the coolest guy in the world, or he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Because he's too good looking.
He could be the coolest serial killer.
He could be the coolest serial killer. You never know. So who were you? And if you just tell us who you were.
If you are a serial killer, we apologize for letting the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, we don't.
I was going to say we could break the news on your
podcast. This is a big one.
So take us back. Who were you before you were a dad?
Oh my God. Let's see. Oh wow, that's a deep question. Who was I before?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like the things that would be different. I don't know.
Did you call yourself Christopher and just shorten it when you had a kid?
No. Thankfully, just Chris.
Okay,
just Chris. It was only Christopher to my grandmother and my mother when she was angry.
Yes, 100%.
But I don't know. It's interesting. I'm trying to think of like ways.
It is a big question. It is a big question. Like, I would say,
are you looking for just like, I don't know, biographical stuff or like character things?
Or character's great. I mean, what were you doing with your life? I mean, you don't have to have this responsibility of somebody waking up at 1 a.m. and keeping you up. You know? And you probably would have enjoyed that maybe, but not.
Yeah, well. Yeah. So I would say one thing that is true about me. It's still true, but it's definitely the volume's been turned down a lot. It's just being very like career focused. And so certainly before June was born, I don't know, very achiever mindset, for better or for worse. And, just trying to do all the things, travel, have a career, do all the stuff. And, I would say that fatherhood in particular has kind of turned the volume down on kind of like the inner self-critic that was kind of like driving me to achieve in different ways.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that self-critic can be really, really loud, can't
Super
it?
loud for a lot of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
So you're saying that having June kind of turned the volume down on that critic and maybe gave you some more perspective. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just kind of, I would say this is probably pretty common for a lot of dads. And I would say going into the fatherhood experience, I mean, there have been a lot of things about going into the fatherhood experience where I'm like, I'm not quite sure how this is going to feel or going to be. And then it turns out being like, kind of how you'd expect it would be in certain ways. So like, with regards to like the sense of purpose, it's like, well, now it's like, all right, like I'm not, whereas before it was like, it was almost a weird feeling of like trying to like get good grades or get a good job or get a promotion for myself or to like prove something to someone out there. And, I actually started noticing this when we were pregnant, probably about, 6 months in, where it was like, oh shit, this is happening soon.
Right.
Where it's like, it's a big mindset shift. Where it's like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, like I still care about like my job and I still want like to do something that feels meaningful. But at the same time, like my identity is shifting in ways like my success is no longer, whereas previously it was like, I'd kind of judge my success like, oh, like, I don't know, kind of like these outward, again, like achievement things or, I don't know, being able to say I did something or whatever.
Accolades and reassurance.
Yeah. Or whether it's money or status or.
Right. And then it shifted to be like, oh, no. Like my most important role now, like that's still important for me to have a job, but the most important thing I'm doing is I need to be there for my daughter and for my wife. That was in an interesting way for me. The way I experienced it is it almost felt like actually a little bit of easing of pressure. I don't know if everybody, I'd be surprised, I guess, if everybody felt that way, but at least for me, it was like, oh, like it doesn't matter if I get promoted faster or like at all or whatever, it matters less, I guess I should say, in this new world than I think the type of pressure that I would have put myself previously. And so, there's kind of pressures in different ways in fatherhood, but like that is, I would say that that's one kind of part of me that I have kind of, sort of consciously put into a backseat role.
Oh, interesting. Sure. So yeah, your focus before you were a dad was mostly like career and levels, next level. And it sounded like when June came, it was like now the North Star is just finding a way to just be present and experience fatherhood as much as possible. Totally.
Cause, and I kind of, I would never have like called myself a workaholic in the sense that like I couldn't stop working, but I would kind of reserve a lot of my energy for work. And now it's like, that those reserves just don't exist in the same way. So yeah, it's definitely about being more present. It's about like a lot of exercise and being more present.
We've had a few dads talking about that, really being present and maintaining that presence for your kiddo, and the payoff is substantial. What was this the self-critic inside? Was that built upon you feeling this way at all times, or was there a pressure for you growing up that you were like, oh gosh, I've got to succeed, I've got to match either siblings or my own father or family? Is there something that was creating that massive drive that you had?
No, this is good. We're getting into the juicy stuff here. Okay. So I would say it's interesting. Neither of my parents put like explicit pressure on me. I was an older brother. I got one younger brother. But there wasn't a lot of explicit pressure on me to succeed. But I think there were two things that kind of happened around the same time in my life that sort of set my brain chemistry, my reward system on a certain path. One was, so my parents got divorced when I was like 3, but when I was going into 3rd grade, my dad left town because he was going to go back to grad school. So I grew up in Alaska, and he went back out to school he went to grad school on the East Coast. And so he was leaving town. And it's so interesting because there was never a time where he like blamed me or like, he was always he's passed away now, but he was always kind of he never put pressure on me, but he was always very proud to like talk to other people about my achievements and things like that. And so, at those young ages, it was like, oh, Chris scored a goal, like, soccer game. And, he also, got straight A's, which for a 2nd grader, it's like, whatever, but I think because he left, I think I was confused because I got all this positive reinforcement from him. I was doing a good job, and he was never like, oh, anything's your fault. He was never angry with me. Right. Unless I was being like a little shit, right. Like, not
never angry with me, just, not
reason, it was never like, I felt like there was like, I'm sure there was stuff that was getting redirected towards me in certain ways, but not in a way that I felt like culpable.
Yeah. Sure.
But I think I was confused, and I was like, I could be doing everything right, and this person's still leaving.
Right.
Well, I guess I probably better just try even harder to make everything right. Or conversely, it's like, wow, like this can happen even when everything's going right. Like shit, I probably have to keep everything going in this direction. Otherwise, like things will really fall apart.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, did your brothers also have that same drive that you did, or same feeling, or is this really just your experience?
I mean, so I think it was a little bit more my experience in the sense that so I was very achievement minded. Like I wanted to be doing well in sports and school, all the way up through, all the way through like when I graduated from grad school, like, not too long ago. But I guess it was a while ago now. Jeez, I'm getting older too. But for Greg, because I was kind of a classic older sibling, like doing well. So he was, whenever he'd get the new grade, it's like his teachers would be like, oh, I know about you through your brother.
No pressure,
but you sort of in the shadow of a lot of the achievements that I had. And I think in terms of like how that worked with my dad is my dad was always praising me, and Greg really wasn't getting a lot of that.
Bummer.
And so I think it was actually, I don't know, maybe that even played a role in me being like, oh shit, well I better stay alive, otherwise I'd be like Greg, it's like, really,
it's so interesting the complexities of and the nuances of our upbringing, our our formation of our personalities as adults and all the things that happen along the way. And it's so refreshing to hear a man, a dad, have the type of awareness that you're bringing forth here to be able to dissect those things. Wow. So yeah, just like how has that brought you to like built up to the day that you met June for the first time? Right. And I know that the it's not been super easy since she got here for a couple of reasons. And what was it like to meet her for the first time and the few days that kind of led up to that?
Yeah, well, I will say too, like the awareness that you're seeing now, that didn't exist 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Like it's definitely something that's been a work in progress, and still a work in progress in a lot of ways. But, gosh, yeah. So, Lucas, you and I also have a similar experience in the sense that we kind of, I don't want to say became dads like late, but a little later than other folks.
A little later than a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm 41 now, and I've got a 1-year-old. And so I would say that kind of leading up to having June, I think in large part because I recognize particularly some of the faults that my dad had as a father. I really took the task of being a dad pretty seriously, in the sense of like, for a big chunk of like, especially my young adult life in my 20s and early 30s, I was like, oh, well, I'm not ready for that. Like that's too big of a responsibility. Right. And so, it's like, I think like my dad had me when I was 27. So, and I just think back when I was 27, I was like, I had no idea like what I was doing.
So much stuff to figure out. Yeah.
So much stuff to figure out. And so anyway, in many ways I've got a lot of, sort of empathy for the scenario that, he found himself in. But, so, by the time we were, ready to have kids, I met the right person, Angie, my wife. I'd say like all of that is like massive preparation. We had 2 miscarriages too in the lead up to June. And so there was a lot of grief and a lot of just kind of like recognition for how precious life is. And,
can you speak a little bit to how, I just want to give something for maybe some of the dads out there that are going through that right now. I know some people that are close to me that have experienced miscarriages, and something, maybe you can speak to some ways that you were supportive for Ange, and maybe also some ways that you were supportive of yourself during that time, because it's an experience that is not easy to go through. And
I'd be very curious to know how you and Angie also worked through that and supported one another. Cause that's the big moment.
Yeah. No, it was intense. I mean, I would say, just as a little bit of background too, it's like we got pregnant in November of, I guess it would have been 2022. And it was one of those things where we didn't even realize we were pregnant until like a week before Christmas. And so we're like, well, we're hosting a bunch of family for Christmas that year. So it was like, well, we'll tell everybody on Christmas Day. So it was like this big thing, everybody was all excited. And then, we went in for the 8-week appointment ultrasound, and there wasn't a heartbeat. So, really, kind of, awful, in its own right. And then it was also, they were worried that it might be what's called an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
Which is, where the, basically the egg starts growing in a place where it can't sustain growth in the woman's body, and potentially could cause like severe hemorrhaging, bad news. And so it was like, oh, not only is your baby like not going to make it, but also like
there's a danger to your partner.
You could die, and so
that's some scary shit.
Yeah, and so it's kind of one of these things where we're getting way into the weeds, but like just to maybe paint the picture of like kind of how it felt. It's like they give us two options. It's like you can do like an emergency DNC, which is a surgical procedure where they go in there and they scrape the cervix and everything like that, or you can take this methotrexate shot, which will flush out your system. And you also can't get pregnant on that, within, I think they make you wait like 3 to 6 months because it can cause severe birth defects.
Wow.
This treatment. And so it was like, anyway, it was just super jarring.
Right. I mean, you guys are going in there expecting we're going to see this little peanut, and all of a sudden, no, you're not. And you've got another big thing to worry about.
Yeah. And it's like a health problem. Totally. Yeah. So, we go through with the DNC, and I would say like my mindset at this period too, I don't know, it was a little bit naive. We were able to get pregnant pretty easily. And so, there was no real doubt. Like I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have kids. Like it's going to work out, even though we're a little older. Right. And even as this was happening, I was like, yeah, this is it's happens fairly frequently. And I think I was kind of looking at it, trying to be a little bit more pragmatic about it. I wasn't, it was obviously sad and, disappointing, but I think at least at that stage for me, there wasn't a ton of grief. Yeah. Ange obviously is going through all this physically, so it's a lot harder. And what was really too bad is like, I was actually on a work trip when she had to go in and get the DNC. And so she had a friend doing it. So anyway, like that was, it was, we made it through. Yeah. But one of the things they say after the DNC is like, well, you can start trying again right away. So we got pregnant again right away.
Wow.
And, basically the same thing. It was, we went in, we did go in early for the ultrasound because we were nervous. I think we went in like 6 weeks and we saw the flicker. We went back in at 8 weeks and it wasn't there anymore. Oh, and so that one was, that one was a little bit more of, I don't know, a gut punch.
Yeah, a definite hit.
Because it's like, wait a second, like, okay, this could happen once, but if this is happening more than once,
then we start to see a pattern and we start to worry.
Yeah. And you start to worry. And, for that one, Ange did like a pill assisted miscarriage. So what are the two drugs that are all they've been all in the news the last, I don't know, couple years, the mifepristone and what's the other, anyway, the two that you take in combination. And, it's a gnarly experience. She actually, if you asked her about it, she'd say that the pain was worse for that than it was in labor, just because, it was kind of like she knew that there wasn't a baby coming.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was super gnarly. And it was like, she'd been pregnant for, like 4 or 5 months, basically straight.
Yeah.
And with nothing to show for it at that point. And so that was like, again, like the fears of, are we going to be able to have kids start cropping up? And that for me was a little bit more like, for the first time, I really kind of entertained this idea of like, wow, what if we can't have kids? And that was a really heavy feeling to kind of sit with. I think in my heart of hearts, I still believed that we would. But it was the first time that like kind of the logical part of my brain was like, wait a second, like something actually might be happening here that would mess with your whole plan.
How did you guys discuss that? Like you said, this for you personally, it was this, and obviously for Angie, it was crushing as well. How did you guys discuss that, or what did you guys take that on your own or leave it on your own?
Yeah, no, we talked about it a lot. There was actually. We've got like there's this we've since moved, but there's a cemetery right next to where we used to live, and there was like this tree that we actually went to, and we kind of had a little kind of ceremony of sorts for the two that we lost, and one of the things that, again, Ange felt it like much more deeply. I mean, obviously she was physically feeling it.
Sure.
I think there's a big part of her too that was just like, oh my gosh, can my body not support life? I think she took it really deeply in a lot of ways. But one of the things that was sometimes like a point of tension between us was she was worried that we were just going to forget that it happened, and that other people would forget it happened, and just kind of like go on with our lives as if nothing, had happened. And so she was really committed to commemorating the memory of these two little ones. And, if people asked, she'd be, she, I don't know, it's interesting. Maybe she's softening around some of this now, but, she'd say, hey, how many kids do you have? She'd probably say, well, we lost 2, but we have 1 now. She wants to kind of keep reinforcing that.
Yeah.
She actually made this beautiful drawing of these 2 flowers that are kind of cradling a little seed.
Jesus.
And just kind of looking downcast, 2 little seeds. And she had that made into she had it tattooed on her arm, because she's like, I don't want to forget.
I love that.
Forget about these
it's
these
I think, we ask this question, and I think you handled it beautifully when we ask, who were you before you became a father? And I would even argue that you were a father from the very first child, whether it was born or not. But like something shifted, I'm sure, inside of you. But that's for you to decide. But what I'm saying is these things are the things that the price that we pay, the life that we live between the time that we don't have a kid and the time that we do. And so you lose these 2 kids, and then you guys get pregnant with June, and there's a journey there. And then she's here, and I've met her, and she's a light. She is such a fun kid. So what was the most beautiful part about meeting June for the first time?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I went into it with a certain amount of curiosity about how I was actually going to feel.
Right.
Cause, I'm a lover, not a fighter type of guy. And, I always figured like, I'm going to feel like, I think I kind of anticipated that I would feel, like a lot of warmth. But I've got a bunch of really good guy friends, several who said, everybody talks about like the first time you hold your kid and how magical it is. And like, when I did it, if I'm being honest, like I didn't feel like an immediate love. I felt an obligation to this thing, but I didn't feel a lot of love. And so I was kind of like, I kind of went into a little bit more curiosity, like, how am I actually going to feel about this? And, oh my God, I was smitten from the very beginning. It was just, I'm like, gosh, this is probably the lack of sleep, but I'm like even tearing up thinking about it. It's like the first night.
It's beautiful.
It's like, I've got her. She's so tiny, and I'm just, Angie, she's, we ended up getting a C-section, so she's, off her feet, and I'm just kind of dancing really slowly, with June, and it's just feeling like, wow, like, I'm super into this, right? Right from the very beginning.
Well, and it's probably one of those things, like, I mean, with your experience, it just seems to make sense, the idea of just being present, but also it sounds like you're not taking everything else so damn seriously anymore. You know what I mean? Not that big push, but going, gosh, look at this individual with me. And as you said, you're smitten. It doesn't go away. I mean, it's just an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, no. And so much gratitude too. Because, the journey that we'd been on. And I would say a lot of fatherhood has been like, I would say it's like directly related to that whole like, cheater mindset, is like, it shifts to just having so much gratitude for the things that I do have in my life. Whereas before it was very easy to just be like, oh, I need something else to be happy, or like whatever it is. And now it's just kind of like, no. It's like, it's all here. Like, it's just about cultivating more presence and gratitude in my life.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, my boys are in their 20s now, and it's one of those things where I'm looking at them now as they're just beginning, working towards their careers and establishing themselves. And that amount of pride is amazing still. And just looking at them and I can sit back and smile and just go, wow, you guys are going to be okay. This is just a really reassuring thing. And I know that Kristen, my wife, was hugely instrumental in that, but being present was one of the key things that we talked about, and it's paid off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's the sort of thing too, where like, this is one of the things I've been playing around with lately is, cause there's a lot of fatherhood that at times can kind of, is, I suppose it is a little bit like drudgery, where just, changing their diaper
at 1 a.m.
Yeah. And I've been doing this thing where I didn't do it last night. I don't know, I was too tired, but where, maybe it's just like change diaper. I'll just imagine, like, okay, imagine that I am 85 and somebody shows up and is like, Chris, I've got a time machine for you, and you get to go back in time for 5 minutes and change Jude's diaper.
Jeez. Yeah.
When she was 15 months old. Yeah. And it's just like, that just like immediately I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, how special is it to be here doing this right now? And what, like, I know when I'm older, and again, Eric, you mentioned, you got your kids are in their 20s.
Yeah.
I'm sure you love them to death right now, but I'm sure that there are times when you think, man, like, that was cool when they were this age or whatever. And it's like, the time is gone now.
Oh man. We had an episode, we talked about it before, we getting videotape and hearing these light little voices instead of these men now. It's transformative. I'm just like, oh, where'd that kid go? But I'm glad you don't have that voice now. It wouldn't really float.
Even on Halloween this week, we were out in the neighborhood, and there's parents of all ages, from 3 or 4 years old to teenagers, and every single one of them, when we brought Stella up, we're like, oh God, I miss that time. I miss that time. Yeah, and you do, and that's, again, like, that shows us the importance of being present and appreciating every single moment. And sometimes it can be really hard when life gets crazy, the world gets crazy, to slow down. But every chance you get, try to do it. I hope all the dads out there listening and the moms take that to heart.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the things that I am very conscientious of. Like, I'll go back and think of my own life, but I'll picture the boys in an event, just something that we had done, and even something inane as just watching them mow the lawn or something. But just going, all right, there they are, and just replaying that, what they were doing, what they looked like. Were they toiling? Were they struggling? And it really is fun to go, there are battles, these poor kids, and you're just like, oh, let me come in and help you. But it's like, no, you really do need, you got to be uncomfortable sometimes to help you grow and persevere. So it's, but it is amazing to go back. And I love that picture you did of, 85 and have 5 minutes, and you could go back and change a diaper, and it really is true.
I don't care how nasty it is.
Right?
It could be explosive, but
I don't care.
That just means I get more time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just recognizing, like, how precious that those moments are. And I don't know, I guess that trick works. That trick works most of the time, but sometimes it's.
I was thinking about it recently because I just stay at home with Stella a good bit of the time, and when it comes to diapers and meals, and I think about how my own mother must have felt, because she always would say, like, I feel like I'm always cleaning this house. And so sometimes you can get caught up, I think, in the drudgery, like you said, of parenthood. But some way that it helped me start to reframe it was that every time you change a diaper or sweep the floor, you're basically resetting for the next moment. And it just takes it takes that in order to be able to appreciate and enjoy the next moment. You have to take the time to clean up that mess. and so I think if you think about it that way of like, I'm setting myself up to enjoy the next moment by putting all these toys up. So man, I have loved talking to you, and we're not done yet. I'm not wrapping this up. I'm just saying, I just had to say from my heart, like, these are the kind of conversations that I love having with other fathers, just getting into the nitty gritty of the hard and the beautiful and the whole picture of it. So now your baby girl is here. And what has life been like since then? She's only a little over a year, but a lot has happened in that time. And what have you learned? What's the good? What's the bad? What's the haps, my friend?
Yeah. Well, like gosh, Ange and I, like we often, like on a regular basis, we just look at each other and we're just like, oh my gosh, can you believe that out of all the babies born in history, we ended up with the best one?
Incredible.
Like what are the odds? Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. She's just awesome. Like I said, she's a good sleeper mostly.
That's huge.
Which is like huge. She's curious. She's like interested in being around people. She is generally like she does such a good job. Anyway, like I'm very proud. I suppose that's one thing you'd say.
We can hear
like
it.
I feel, I don't know. It's just Lucas, I think like, we chatted a couple months back. I might've mentioned this, but before having kids, I was looking at babies in particular. Like I always thought like, I know I want to have kids, but those first few years kind of suck, and it's like, that's just kind of what I assumed. I look at babies. I didn't really know anything about babies. Like I didn't have a lot of experience being around babies for significant chunks of time. And so it's like someone have a baby. I'd be like, they were just all blobs to me. I'd be like, that's a nice blob you got there.
What do you do with a baby?
Right.
I'm kind of nervous to hold it. Like it's fragile. Like it's
why do their heads bobble like that?
It's making a mess. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm glad you like it. That's kind of how I felt.
That was the story.
I'm glad you liked your child. I can't see the why behind it.
I can't imagine. But one of the biggest, like, I don't know, joys for me has just been because you are in it every day. I'm now way more tuned to babies. It's like I get babies.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can look at a baby and I can kind of understand like roughly how old that baby is, like what type of milestones are happening. And the thing that's just the sweetest thing, it's just absolutely incredible to just watch them develop. I mean, it's just, I'm convinced, and that every parent thinks their child is like the best thing that's ever existed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because like, it's like, yes, it's good, you bond with your child, but also like human development is just so incredible to witness.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It's just, you realize like all those things that are like instinctual, like, we talk about obviously environment and, things like that matter an awful lot. Like there's just stuff that Jude does where like we didn't teach her that, she's recently gotten the habit of like, after she's like takes a sip of water or milk or whatever, she just goes, like really loud, like super exaggerated. And you're like, like that's not, you've not seen anybody do that. That's just like what humans do because it feels good when you do that sort of thing, or like, we, like I said, we just recently moved into this house and we've since kind of redone the cellar a little bit. It's a really old house. But like before we moved in, it was just like this really dark, like dirt floor, like the sort of place where, 120 years ago, they were putting like their canned goods down there for the winter time.
Or where a serial killer might bury their bodies.
Totally. And it's funny.
Okay.
Because we bring, when we're touring the house, we bring June down to the cellar with us.
Yeah.
And she's like not having it.
No
way. She's like, I hate it down here.
Yeah.
This is awful. You know, and you're like, oh, like that whole, like, it's not just like some culturally derived thing that we're all like scared of dark, you know, underground places. It's like, no. That's like deep rooted in us to have that fear, you know? So
we're not going back to the caves, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I love what you said though, of, you know, watching that development. I mean, dads and moms too, pay attention to it because it is so quick. And there's just those subtle little things, and watch them. I love watching the concentration and watch what they do with their hands when they're really concentrating. It is so fun to watch them tweak out. It's really cool. Yeah, you know, Kristen and I loved our first son too. He was challenging, and so she's like, "We've got to have another kid because we got to knock this kid off his pedestal." And it's just like, you know, so yeah, we were thankful for Ryan. He came in pretty mellow, but it's funny. Love you, Nathan, but you were a handful. So no, it's the hand thing. You know, June had a period of time. I don't know. She was like 6 weeks old, and she discovered that she had a hand. Yeah,
like she was just like studying it. You know, like
have you ever really looked at your hand, Dad?
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just so sweet, and it happens so fast. It happens so fast. Eric, you hit the nail on the head. It's like. You know, I was giving you this scenario where it's like I talk about like, oh, when I'm in my 80s, it'd be cool to come back and like really appreciate this moment. There are times now where I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, he was so cute 6 months ago, and that is gone.
Right.
Yeah. That is gone.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember a time where Stella, I could like just like hug on her or whatever, and now like every once in a while I'll like go up to hug her and she'll like just palm my face. She's like, God, get out of my face.
You know, I'm looking at my
17
hands,
months.
Dad.
I did not consent to this. Get out of here.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. June's stiff arm is pretty good these days.
Love it.
For sure.
Love it.
You're in my bubble, okay? Enough.
Oh yeah, the personality. I mean,
so
what is the personality at?
You know, this is one area where, like, it's interesting. So Ange is just now starting to get back into work. So she's been looking after June. So she hasn't been around a lot of other kids. We haven't been around a ton of other kids. So for longer periods of time to like really see like, oh, this is where her personality is kind of dialing in. Pretty, you know, adventurous, exploratory.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened with June was she's being treated for infant hip dysplasia.
What's that?
And so I don't know if y'all remember this, but when your kids are born, there's like a hip check that they do where they're looking for like a clunk. Well, she had a clunk, and you know, for a period of time we had her in a brace like overnight.
Gotcha.
But then that wasn't working enough, and so they actually put her in a cast from her sternum all the way down to her ankles for 3 months.
Wow.
And so, like, you know, she was in the cast from, gosh, I guess it was like 11 months.
Jeez.
10 months, 11 months. To it was like, I guess it was just between 10 and 11 months, you know, for 3 months. And you know, so she was just, you know, at that point starting to like really pull herself up to standing and wanting to start,
and now she's completely
experimenting with that,
restricted. Wow.
Right. And so I would say that we started to see some personality really like just obvious personality coming out then, because she just like wouldn't let it stop her. Like she was, you know, like she learned how to crawl. Again, she can't articulate her knees or her hips.
Wow.
And she learned how to like crawl, and she was using her feet as like these little flippers, you know, as she was moving around. She could actually like, I don't know, she'd like spin herself around on the cast because it kind of had like a little point, like again, like right on her sternum. Where she could, it almost looked like she was like breakdancing when she was doing it. It was really funny. But she learned how to like pull herself up to like a full stand, like in the cast.
That is a driven
grab
kid.
and just
I love
like
it.
she just like muscle her way up.
The resilience at not even a year old, incredible.
Yeah, no, she would it was like she was doing, like Superman push-ups, like constantly. It's wild.
Oh my gosh.
But just very determined to like check things out, do things physically. So she's been out of the cast for, I guess like 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Nice.
And she's just like, she's running around doing everything. Right. Again, like very physically interested in being out in the world, like very curious. She loves dogs. So she's like whenever she sees animals, she does like this shiver thing because she's so excited. Like, you guys, do you remember this is gonna be a deep cut, so this might be a swing and a miss, but you guys remember there used to be like this meme of this little girl eating cotton candy where she'd like take a big bite of the cotton candy and then just like kind of go like, anyway, it was like this, and that's like June. She's just like so excited.
Yeah.
I don't know that one personally, but we'll have to do like a search and find it and post it for people to see. So
yeah, if you were into memes circa 2012.
2012, got
That was it. Well, I always remember that. I was working. I had a degree in child development. I remember just with the little kids, 4-year-olds, you give them a balloon and you just watch their face light up. But then you give them a second balloon and they're just like, wait a minute, it gets better than one balloon? Are you kidding me? Who are you? And it's so fun to watch that expression on a kid because it's just like, it got better and it was great already. That's great. Well, man, this has been a great treat to talk to. We appreciate this.
It's been a great episode. We're going to wrap it up now. If you have a dad joke, we'd love to hear that.
It's got to be a must. You have to.
If you have a dad joke, we'd love to hear it.
All right, I got one. Okay. So, I need to make sure that I need to make sure I deliver this one right. Why does it always save you money to throw a party at a haunted house?
Why?
I don't know.
Because the ghosts bring the booze.
Whoa! All right.
That's my kind of dad joke.
Booze.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's been a pleasure, guys.
Oh,
Great
what a
chatting. I love the project. I'm super excited to see where it goes and to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of it, man.
Thanks,
We'll chat soon. We'll have to get together and grab a beer.
It's an odd 13.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, Chris. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
Cheers.
You only get one spin around this rock. You only have so many days until it stops. And how you show up for your kids, well, that's your superpower. You might not know it now, but this is your Pappy Hour. Pappy Hour, let's talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about? Oh, Pappy Hour, say your piece. Laugh at yourself, slap your knee. Pull up a chair, it's time for Pappy.